So I think the social climate generally is just like super heated and like vitriolic.
A lot of people see it as problematic.
The best word that I can describe for our social climate would be anger.
Going to hell in a handbasket. Is that a better elaboration for that?
I'd say progressive.
It's getting better, but I still think there's a lot to do.
I think our generation is like playing a big part in bringing things to light.
It's very heated and divisive, but I think it's also bringing about quite a bit of change.
I don't know, I feel like people are getting to their breaking point with a lot of different issues right now, but it's kind of where we started as a country. Like, people came over on the Mayflower because they reached their breaking point to a certain point, and then the Civil War and women's suffrage and the civil rights movement, all of that, it's kind of been constant, but now there's so much access to information about all of these different kind of social issues, so there's so many battles going on at one time.
Racism,
Gay rights,
Black Lives Matter movement,
trans rights,
body image with the media.
Rights for every human being.
I think every generation has their fight for a different issue, and we seem to be fighting quite a few different issues and trying to get equality across a broad expanse.
So yeah, I think we're at a very particular time in our history right now where society is becoming increasingly inclusive, and we're becoming more accepting of people of different sexual orientation, different views, different religious beliefs. But at the same time, there's a small group of people who are kind of resisting that transition and feel threatened from it.
Everyone's very dug into their views, just because people tend to sort of go like seek out information that verifies their opinions, and no one's really willing to like open up and listen to others. So like I think that's kind of like why things are so heated and so like polarized.
It stands in a sense that everyone is trying to get their opinion being heard, but at the same time, it also allows for the exchange of opinions in a way that I don't think it has been done before. I think slowly with time, our society will continue to shift towards becoming more inclusive. It's going to take a while to get everyone on board.
I totally believe in it, honestly, because that's what my parents did. They moved here when I was 3.
I'm an Indian American, and my parents emigrated here from India like when they were 30.
They literally came from nothing and made a life for themselves here.
I think they're a real embodiment of the American dream because they moved here after they were adults, and then they like had a jewelry store in a small town for like 30 years, and then now they're retired because like their success like really helped them.
They've been now able to live a comfortable life where they can support family back home.
If you go anywhere, you have to work hard to get where you want to go.
Especially for immigrants who are trying to conform to a new society, a new culture, a new set of ideals that they're not really used to.
I do think there is like social restriction, like stereotypes and what your status is and things like that, like those subconscious things that like kind of guide you on the right path. The American dream is something that's like, it's possible if you work hard, but also if you overcome like social stratification, kind of like where your role is actually supposed to be.
I think the American dream is like a myth for most people. It's very hard because even in college you're expected to have a job, you're expected to have huge job experience before you can even enter a company. So I think it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic also because a lot of people don't have access to education, they don't have access to proper housing, they don't have access to any facility with good infrastructure. So I think the American dream is kind of changing. People are realizing that maybe you don't have to go to college, you just pursue what you're good at. And I think the reality is that a lot of people are moving away from just wanting to make money, which I think the American dream is built on capitalism. And so they're realizing that, you know, if I want to pursue art, if I want to start an organization, I can do that with the people around me rather than having to go through any formal avenues.
I would say that the American dream is something that definitely is attainable. I'm not going to act like it's easy for everyone. It definitely is easier for some people than others. And by that I mean some people are handed the American dream and some people have to really work for it.
It's not how it used to be in the 1950s. Everyone wants that perfect family, the nuclear family. Everyone's kind of living in that little bubble. These days, if you're American, that means you have an opportunity to do the things that you want to do.
I would say the American dream is not necessarily all about money. I think that that's kind of what people jump to is, well, you know, if I make this much money, I must be living the American dream. I've met a lot of people, CEOs within the Austin community, professors within the business school that are not making top dollar, but they're very content with who they are and what they're doing and how they're impacting the students that they're teaching.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a small business, and I think that because I live in the United States, I'm able to do that. I'm able to do that as a young person, and I see myself achieving that.
I think it used to be if you work hard enough, then you can achieve success no matter what. But nowadays, I see people working really hard, and it's more difficult. It's harder to climb the ladder to the top. I still believe in working hard because that's all I've ever known. And I hope that I reach success from that, but I don't think it's guaranteed.
I guess my American dream is to get to travel, see the world, and make a difference.
Be successful and happy.
Being happy for the first time ever.
Being happy.
Find happiness in life, and you know, I am happy.
To me, my American dream would basically be taking these 4 years to the best of my ability, using all the resources that are available to me, and developing a career that I can be proud of, and that I want to wake up every day and look forward to doing that for the rest of my life if I had to. So,
the American dream for me is not being in debt.
To make sure or to know that you are free and that you have the capacity and the freedom to do whatever you want. I think that's American dream for me.
The purpose of life is not to just work, which is a really cliche saying, but I think it's just more and more common. And so the American dream, I think, is kind of stepping outside of that for me. I
feel like the core concept of the American dream is that no matter like who you are, where you come from, your circumstances, if you're willing to work hard, like if you're willing to work so hard, harder than anyone should have to, you can make it. And I think that's the central idea of the American dream, you know. But the thing is, in every single one of my classes, we always read books like about the American dream being dead. I think the main thing that keeps the American dream alive is the belief in it. If like individuals or society, if they believe that it's true, I think that it is. So I choose to believe that the American dream is real, because if it's not, then sort of what's the point? Like, I like to think that if I work hard enough and smart enough, I can end up wherever I want to be.